Information from a column. I can get information from a column just by using this same similar syntax, but instead I'm just going to type the column name. So let's say I'm interested in information about how conservative the US senators were at that time. I can actually create a data structure I'm going to call conservatism scores, and I'm going to take this to hold the information that's currently in the column conservatism. If I look at conservatism scores, I see, okay, this is a list. It has a heading, and it has 100 entries, length 100, and each of these tells me how conservative this particular senator was. Now maybe I'm interested on average how conservative they were. So I could say average conservatism equals each conservatism scores dot mean. So if I want it to print something, I can just type that variable name again. Or probably a better way is to say print the average conservatism score among US senators in 1998 was, and then let's do, I can do this a couple of different ways. I'm going to do it with a string concatenation, which means that I'm taking this string and I'm, again, this is very basic things, like you want to think about how you're going to format this information. Right now I'm just trying to show you some of the different ways that you can get information from the data frame. I could look at combining the loc and column information, hone in on particular pieces of information. Here are some practice problems that looked at. How did Senator John Ashcroft vote on Article 1? Impeach df.loc Ashcroft, and I could ask Article 1. So this gives me the row. This says narrow this down so it's just the John Ashcroft row. And this says narrow it down so all I'm getting is the Article 1 information. And what went wrong here? I bet the variable name does not have a space in it. There we go. So this tells me 1 means guilty. So this tells me John Ashcroft voted guilty on Article 1. Lisa Murkowski, a first-term senator in 1998. Let's go back and let's do df.loc. Oops, hit enter too soon. Murkowski, first term. It tells me there's no one named Murkowski in this data set. They didn't get all of the names. They didn't write out all of the names. They shortened them a little bit, unfortunately. My first challenge is actually to figure out where is Lisa Murkowski in this data set. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to search, and I'm going to say, I'm going to do what's called filtering. We need to filter to the list of senators that might be Murkowski. If you're familiar with Python, what I'm doing might make sense. But for right now, just see if you can try to follow the logic of what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what's called a Boolean index. Senator Murkowski names equals, and this is going to be name for name in impeach df senator if mu in name. So I do want to see Murkowski names. It tells me that there's Murkowsk and Murray. So what I've done here is I've done what's called a list comprehension. And I'll explain this more in another video because I realize this is kind of coming out of nowhere. But I'm trying to filter down just to the senator names that include MU. And it shows me that Murkowsk is actually the name I'm looking for. To impeach df.loc Murkowsk, this should give me the information about Murkowski. And I can eyeball it and see that she was not a first-term senator. But if I wanted to get that information in one go, I could just add on an additional index address here. Now I'm saying take the row that's labeled Murkowski and then look at the first term variable. And I get that that's 0. That tells Lisa Murkowski was not a first-term senator in 1998. Now obviously, just like Markdown, the things that you can do in Pandas far exceed what we've done in these 12 minutes, and you're going to be continually learning new things about Pandas. This is an instance where the best way to start riding the bicycle is to be willing to fall down and skin your knee just a little bit.